Hey, what's up everybody? Will Mosby here, back with yet another video. In this video we're going to be talking about shop organization and specifically how to build this French cleat drill holder. Let's go. Alright, so behind me you can see some of the French cleat stuff that I've built before. So like the clamps are up here, there's a little holder here, circular saw holder up there, jigsaw holder over there, screws over there. You can't even see them. I'll run you around just here in a second. But this is the subject of today's video, and this is the French cleat drill holder that I made. And I will have plans to show you the plans in another video, so hang around for that. I might make one on showing you how to build this thing in another video in SketchUp. But let's just talk about French cleat first. You can actually see this is the cleat right here, and you can see it's cut on a 45. Yeah, that's a 45 degree angle right there, which makes a cleat. And then this side is the other 45 that marries up, and you can, that's the beauty of French cleat. You can kind of pick it up and move it wherever you want. If you want to move it over here, get it down here. I have 4 drills, that's why we have 4 slots. Let's go over that. So I built it to where you can take any drill and put it in head first if you want to. I made it long enough, this thing is 9 inches deep right here, and I made it long enough to where if I did leave my bit in the end of the drill, I don't have to worry about it. It's going to go in there and have enough room to hold the bit even, unless it's an extension, you know. So I also made it to where these are 4 inches right here. This one's just barely over 4 inches and barely over 4 inches, but really let's just call it 4 inches times 4. And I did that on purpose because a lot of my drills have a little hook on it. That way I can hang it off my pants or my belt or whatever if I'm up on a ladder. Well, a lot of these have that on there, and I wanted to be able to hang it like that as well. So 4 inches seems to be about the sweet spot, or is it? This next shelf can be used to hold batteries, battery, even larger batteries like this Ryobi. Oh man, look at that. It just barely fits in there. That's what she said. But let's talk about the top shelf. The top shelf on the side, because my outlet is over there, and I'm not going to put one over here, it's over there. I have this hole drilled on the side, and it's just big enough for that to fit through there. That's what she said. So if I got it hanging up here, and I have all of my chargers up here, I can just run, and I'll have some kind of one of these mounted over there somewhere. I could actually mount this on a French cleat and it can just move all the way around wherever I need it to go. Might do that later. But this will plug in, and then we can plug in all of the charging blocks up there. So that's it. Let's get into the build. Here we go. As you know, I like to plan out my builds with a 3D model inside SketchUp. And the first 3 pieces we're going to cut are the 2 sides and the back. On my model, the back is 18 inches wide by 14 inches tall, and the sides are 14 inches tall by 9 inches deep. I used a single sheet of 1/2 inch by 2 foot by 4 foot plywood for the build. And I'm just using the table saw to rip down the 2 sides and the back. Then I'm going to use the miter to trim the sides to length. Now I'm going to cut the little angle off the 2 side pieces. From the top of the front edge, measure back 3 inches and set the saw to 35 degrees. When done, you should have 2 pieces that look like this. Great job showing you. To attach the side to the back, I definitely recommend using some clamps like what I have here. Now just run a bead of glue along the end of the back piece. Again, great camera work. Then place the first side piece in place and secure it to the 90-degree clamp. Once you have it all lined up, nail it together with 1-inch brad nails. Now just repeat everything for the other side. The next piece is the top shelf. The shelf measurements are 18 inches wide by 8.5 inches deep, and I'm placing the shelf about 4.5 inches from the top. With glue on the end of the shelf piece, it's going to want to slide around on you, so I definitely recommend using a clamp to hold things in place. Then it's a good idea to mark a guide where your brad nail is going to go. Next, we're going to work on the bottom shelf and the 3 separators. The shelf piece is the same as the top shelf, 18 inches wide and 8.5 inches deep. The 3 separator pieces are 8.5 inches deep by 4.5 inches tall. It's a good idea to draw guides on both sides of the shelf so you know where you're nailing, unless you just like to wing it and shoot for the best. What could go wrong? So I tried using a clamp to hold the separator piece in place so I could nail it, but the glue was just causing it to be a little bit too slippery, so I used the old-fashioned method, which was my handy hand clamp. And once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Now we're going to nail in the bottom shelf using the same method as the top shelf, but be sure to leave a 1/2 inch space at the bottom for the horizontal pieces. The last pieces to cut are the small horizontal cross supports at the bottom. The 2 end pieces are 1 inch by 8.5 inches, and the middle 3 pieces are 2.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches deep. This should give you about a 2-inch gap for the drills to sit in. Now you can also see why we left a 1/2 inch gap at the bottom. And there you have it. The main holder is complete. But wait, you're not ready for your victory lap just yet. We still have to install the cleat and drill holes for the battery charger cords. For the cleat, set your saw at 45 degrees and rip a short piece. The cleat I'm using is 19 inches wide. Also, I used glue and brad nails to secure it, but you could also use wood screws for this piece. Now the last step is to drill the holes for the battery charger cords. I used a 1.5 inch hole saw. Also drill only part way on one side, then finish drilling out your hole on the other side. This will prevent the wood from splintering. Then just do some sanding to knock off any rough edges. Alright, hey, that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful and you can go out and build your very own French cleat drill holder. We'll see you in the next video.